Hello, myRockworld. I'm sitting here in Munich with the Last Internationale from New York with Delilah Paz and Edgy Pyrus. Welcome to myRockworld.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, first question. Not everyone is familiar with the Last Internationale. Please give us a brief history. When did the band come together?
We started a few years ago, Edgy and I'm Delilah, hey. We started more as like a political folk duo in New York, and then we gradually started forming a band and touring, which just went straight on the road, playing small clubs, and then ended up getting signed to Epic Records, and now we're actually releasing songs on an indie label, Firebrand Records, with Tom Morello.
Yeah, now we're circling back towards the acoustic folk duo again.
That's awesome.
No, that was a joke. No, it's kind of true though.
Okay. Your debut album is called We Will Reign. Please tell us something about this album and how would you describe the music of the Last Internationale on your own? Edgy?
I don't know, I always feel funny describing our own sound, you know, like I want people to form their own interpretations of it, I guess. But the first album is rather eclectic. It's got, you know, some really heavy songs. It's got, of course, a lot of really heavy politics in there. It's got some, maybe 2 love ballads or whatever, one of which is political. Couldn't help ourselves. I don't know, what would you say about it?
I guess it ranges because we're kind of a heavy band. I guess like hearing stuff back, we get really heavy at shows, like I guess heavy rock, blues. But then we have this other side to us, which is very stripped down and just acoustic. So it kind of has both of that. And the songs that we wrote, I mean, we spent a month in Big Bear, California. It's like a mountain town, writing most of the songs on the album, and just I don't know.
Yeah. What I love about the album, personally, because every album, you know, it's our debut album, but every album that bands, well, every album that we plan on doing at least is going to be completely different from the other. What I like about this particular album is that, Brendan O'Brien produced it, and we had Brad Wilk on drums, and Brendan O'Brien added so much to this album as far as like keyboards and pianos and, you know, production and all that. So even when I hear the album, sometimes I'm even amazed by like the piano playing on the record, especially on like songs like Wanted Man, for example, the one you were just talking about, and you know, the piano playing on there is so it adds a flavor to the songs that just make them extra special, I guess.
So it's hard to catch this sound live?
No, we have a vibe, definitely have a vibe as the 3-piece live. So I like playing the songs a little different than the record. They're pretty much the same, but you know, a little more, I guess, raw and stripped down. So there's only 3 of us: there's bass, guitar, and drums, and that's it. Which I kind of like doing things a little different than the record live. Eventually, maybe we'll have some more players, like backup singers, things like that.
Yeah. For Letterman, it came out fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
We had 2 backup singers for Letterman. It was so cool.
Awesome.
We plan on doing that.
So it's on YouTube, maybe?
It's on YouTube, I know that. But in Germany, Wanted Man apparently isn't on YouTube.
That's a pity, yeah. Okay.
Intellectual property rights, man.
Yeah.
It's evil.
What is your own personal favorite song on this album and why? Delilah?
My favorite song, you know, maybe. Hold on, I have to think for a moment. I think I'll Be Alright might be my favorite song.
Why?
Because I remember when I started writing it, I was in a very different place. I was like in this reflective mode, and just came out. I like how it came out. It was like effortless, kind of. So whenever I listen to it, I just think back to the moment of writing it, and we never actually don't play that song live. So I think maybe that's why I like listening to it too. So I haven't been playing it.
AJ, what's your personal favorite song?
I don't have one. I like them all, but I mean, the song "Fire" is I kind of dig it, maybe because it's like the most blues song on the album, like the most bluesy sounding song. But I would say that the song Battleground has great potential live. We played it for the first time on the European tour. We played it at a radical festival in Greece, and Reputations Festival. And the crowd was singing along, and in our heads we could hear like doing much more than, even though I love the production on the album, like it could take on a whole new life live, and it's something that we still have yet to explore, and one of these days we'll get to it, and when we actually have video of it, we'll show you, and then you'll see what we mean. But I feel like there's so much territory to explore in that song, as far as like backup singers, pianos, maybe cellos, and acoustic guitars, electric guitars, and drums, and bass. Everything's mixed up with the crowd singing along. So I would say that maybe that could be my favorite soon. I don't know.
Okay. It's impressive how fresh this album sounds. It's picked with timeless melodies and amazing songwriting. What is your secret writing music?
I don't think there is really a secret. I think it's about always taking from your surroundings and what you see, and not being afraid to take risks and to keep writing, because most of the time you write probably some bad stuff, and then but if you keep writing, you pick out the good stuff. I think we're always growing. Edgy and I write together, and we're always growing and always changing, and I think that's the good thing. We're never like settling on something. It's always like we're learning something from either the people we see or things we see on the road or things we read.
So, coming to the next question, what are your heroes starting out playing music?
Heroes, there are many. Woody Guthrie is a big one. Patti Smith, who I just saw live for the first time, and it was amazing. I love Charlie Chaplin a lot.
Okay.
For his writing, he wrote music and also the stories that he wrote, and his acting I love. There's so many. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. Edgy?
I guess I'll add on to what she said, because those are my biggest influences too. I guess we'll start with Robert Johnson. I guess he's a huge influence on me. Albert King, Freddie King, all the Kings, really. B.B. King, who just recently passed away.
So all the blues legends.
Yeah, all the blues legends. There's a lot of them. In Son House, of course, also love them. Female artists too, like Memphis Mimi. You can't forget about them. Odetta, she was fantastic. Even outside of the folk or blues idiom, I would say, like Bob Marley, that was a huge influence. More recent influences, of course, Tom Morello and Rage Against the Machine. Even newer than that, I don't know, but those are I guess some of the. I could keep going. Like early Clapton, Jeff Beck.
Okay. This will be 4 hours. Okay.
Oh, Muhammad Ali for his poetry.
Okay. So on this first Europe tour, you're playing club gigs as well as support for such great bands like The Who, Counting Crows, Incubus, One Republic, or Lenny Kravitz. Is it difficult for you to switch from huge crowd to clubs from one day to another? And how is the response from the Europe fans so far?
Well, the response has been great so far, much more than I expected. We're definitely playing with different crowds every night. It's totally different. Theaters, then club, then festival. But it definitely keeps it exciting, and everything seems new to us. Every city we go to is a brand new, exciting event.
So do you prefer the huge crowd or the smaller gigs?
I prefer the huger gigs just to reach more people, but sound-wise and as a musician, I prefer the smaller clubs. It's kind of like home for us. But I will say that, like clubs like we're playing tonight, like Backstage, like a couple hundred capacity. For me, I think that's like that kind of like, I don't know, like. It's where rock and roll should be played, pretty much. When it starts getting bigger, you start to lose the intimacy between the band and the crowd, and the effectiveness of especially rock and roll music is kind of lost, I guess. But recently playing like the big festival stages and all that, it's also exciting in its own way. So I'm really starting to enjoy that. Probably just as much, only because you get to see the reaction from a lot more people, and even though it's not as intimate, you can kind of create intimate moments. For example, the other day, Delilah jumped into the crowd and really connected with people, and then seeing all this extra space on stage, at first was frightening. Like, what do you do with all this extra space? But now it's actually exciting. It's like, I haven't stepped over there before. Let me get an even longer cable for this show, and let's try something completely new. And so it's actually a thrill to play the big stages.
Please tell us a secret or a funny turbo secret maybe that nobody knows.
Tour bus?
I have one.
I don't know if I'm allowed to.
I have one a veggie.
Okay.
What's that?
Tell it.
Well, we sleep in the bunks, and,
Oh shit.
and there was. I mean, it's not that crazy, but he. In the middle of the night, he woke up screaming and woke everyone up, like thinking he was in a coffin, but like banging, like I've never heard before. I thought someone was murdering him. I guess he woke up and thought he was trapped in a coffin, and yeah.
It happened. It actually happened.
ago.
It happened twice on this tour, and I woke up bleeding actually because
Oh my God.
I was punching. I guess I was punching as hard as I could, and I was kind of like. I don't know. I thought I was awake, but I was really convinced that I was trapped inside some kind of coffin or something like that, or like a baggage area, like in a plane or whatever. And so like I just went no. I just started punching anything in my way, and I don't know. They woke me up. They were like, "Yo, chill, motherfucker."
Oh my God.
They thought someone broke into the bus. It happened today, actually.
Oh really?
She caught it.
Oh,
when it was
again,
happening,
again last night I heard him scream like, "Wait!" He was banging on the. So actually, yeah, it happened twice.
Happened
Okay.
I think we
today.
have to get it.
She caught it in like the incipient stages, like when I opened my eyes. I remember it clearly. I opened my eyes and I saw a reflection,
Okay.
like on top of the bunk, which is like maybe like 2 feet, not even from like where my eyes are. And so I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? And then all of a sudden, I'm trying to rationalize it because I don't know where the hell I am. And I thought something was coming in on me, like caving in. And I was about to scream. And I started punching it already. And she woke me up. She's like, stop. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Okay. It's a nice secret. Okay. Last but not least, some words to your fans, please.
We really appreciate all the fans that we've been gathering, and it's become like a community. And we really appreciate all the love and support that the fans have been giving us. And hopefully we see you fans in Germany. It's our first time here. So come to our show.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I guess what I would want to say is I would want to hear what the fans have to say, rather than having a one-way conversation, which is the only way possible through an interview like this. But we love when we love meeting new people, making new fans, and becoming friends with new fans, because we tend to do that a lot. And we just love hearing what people have to say, and we love hearing their stories at shows afterwards, like when we usually go to the merch table, and just hearing about the towns that they live in and their own personal struggles and stuff like that. Anything to help people organize, because a lot of times what we find is people come to our shows and they live in the same town, and it could even be a very small town, and some of the people in the crowd don't know each other. And what we like to do as a band is to kind of, not only are they introduced to us, but then we like to introduce the fans to each other,
To connect the fans.
to connect them together, and that's how I guess the movement is formed, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. So, thank you very much for this interview.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thanks, man.
Bye.